As just said, over the last few years, I had the privilege to work a lot with closing salespeople and help them transition into leadership. And that's why I want to talk to you about 7 key leadership skills that will help you in your role as individual contributor, but also as you move on into leadership. Now, those skills, many of them are soft skills, so that might feel a bit intangible. So I also want to give you one action step for each one of those skills so you can actually start working on them today. The first skill is listening. And that might sound a bit basic, but I'm not talking about the kind of listening where, let's say, someone comes to you and says, oh, this prospect is so annoying. And then you're like, oh yeah, I know what you mean. I've dealt with that kind of prospect before. And then the other person doesn't feel heard at all. I'm talking about the kind of listening where you say, it makes sense that this is a frustrating situation considering how much time and effort you put into this opportunity. So we actually want to make the other person feel heard. So my challenge for you today is that next time you have a conversation and you want to take over and talk about your side of things, just stop for a moment, be curious, and ask an open-ended question to get a bit more information out of them. The second skill is motivating others. And that's what a lot of managers get very wrong. We are all motivated by different things. So someone might be motivated by money, another person might be motivated by flexibility or recognition. So it's very important that we figure out, both in sales conversations and when we are managing people, what motivates them. You can do that by practicing just identifying motivators in your team. So for example, today, you can sit down, think about each person on your team and ask yourself, what is the main motivator? And if you struggle to come up with the different motivators, because there are quite a few different ones, then I can also give you a list of all the different motivators just to help you with that. The next one is building trust. And that's an interesting one because it's essential in every sales cycle, yet many people struggle with it. And one of the reasons is that, let's say you trust yourself up to this level here. That means other people can only trust you up to the same level. If you work on the trust in yourself, other people can trust you as well. Otherwise, if you don't trust yourself and you try to build trust, that's the kinds of people where we are often a bit suspicious and we're like, there's something going on. I can't just tell what it is, but it's a bit fishy. So we want to make sure that we build that trust in ourselves, in our sales skills, and our leadership skills, so other people can have that trust in us too. How do we do that? There are a million different ways. I would say my favorite one is to just do the things that scare you. So if you're in a meeting and you're scared of speaking up, do it. If you think about going to a networking event, but the thought kind of makes you uncomfortable, do it. The more often you prove to yourself that you can actually do it, the more you will trust yourself. Then skill number 4 is consistency. And consistency is such a valuable skill because it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of people struggle with it. The reason why we struggle in the first place is because we set ourselves super big goals. I mean, think of New Year's where everyone is like, I'm going to get fit, I'm going to do a diet. And we're so motivated in the moment that we set ourselves goals that are way too high. If we want to show up consistently, we need to set smaller goals that we can actually achieve. So we have that moment where we can be proud of ourselves. So let's say, for example, you want to start waking up earlier, starting tomorrow. Don't change your alarm clock to an hour earlier. Change or wake up 5 minutes earlier, and then the day after 5 minutes earlier again. So you slowly work towards your goal. And then it's way more easy to really show up consistently. Skill number 5 is empathy. And empathy is a bit of a buzzword because it's been thrown around in social media a lot. What I mean with empathy is the commitment that I want to understand another person's world. I'm not talking about sympathy. I'm talking about being able to put yourself in their shoes and understand the world from their perspective. And that's important in a sales cycle. That's also important when we actually lead other people. So my challenge for you today will be, next time you face an objection, put yourself in your prospect shoes and really ask yourself, how are they seeing the situation and what are they thinking? Skill number 6 is actually a hard skill. It's analytical thinking. In sales, numbers are so important. So we also have to learn how to interpret numbers the right way. We need to understand goals. We need to understand trends. The way you can practice that is, of course, you can take a course on that. There are quite a few. But you can also start looking at Salesforce reports and doing that on a weekly basis and really trying to interpret them and pull different data. That will really help you in the long run. And then skill number 7 is getting rid of your ego. And that is a big one. We often confuse ego with confidence, but confidence means that I know I will be fine no matter what challenge comes my way. Versus a big ego or showing up from a place of ego means I'm trying to compensate for a lack of something. Now, we all have been there. We all have an ego. It's fine. And we also all have met people who have a big ego, the kind of people that thrive on authority or the kind of people that steal someone else's recognition. If you find yourself in that situation, first, it's okay. But then stop for a moment and ask yourself, what is the feeling that I'm trying to create right now? And why am I not feeling it yet? When we come from a place of ego, there is something we want to feel, but we can't get it internally. So we're looking for external ways to get it. So to summarize again, there are 7 skills. The first one is listening. The second one is motivating others. The third one is building trust. Then we have consistency, empathy, analytical thinking, and getting rid of your ego.